Man, I keep seeing Jordan Love stats that make me uneasy, maybe even a little queasy about Sunday's Packers-Cowboys playoff game. So, in his last 8 games, Jordan Love has thrown 18 touchdown passes to just 1 interception. Now it has been brought to my attention that Jordan led the NFL this season with 9 starts with multiple touchdown passes and 0 interceptions. The last quarterback to do that in his first full season of starting was the greatest Cowboys quarterback ever, Roger Staubach, back in 1971, the year my Cowboys broke through and won their first ever Super Bowl. Uh-oh. I mean, does Jordan Love have a little bit of Jordan in him, as in you-know-who? Keyshawn, can you ultimately see Jordan Love becoming even better than Aaron Rodgers?
No, Skip.
No? Good. Please, I need some assurance here.
No, he's not going to be better than Aaron Rodgers. Not right now.
Well,
not even
ever.
You know how, come on, man. I don't need to run down the resume. Let's just start by saying the dude won a Super Bowl. Okay? Jordan Love has not. Okay, the dude's got 4 MVP trophies.
He does.
10 Pro Bowl appearances. And when the Pro Bowls really meant something. Not this stuff that did. I'm talking about when you really played in the Pro Bowl, when it really meant something. He was going in. It's just hard, Skip. You know, it's 4-time MVP, 4-time All-Pro, 10-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, and a host of all sorts of other records. It's just hard to try to apply that type of pressure to this young man to live up to. Here's what I would say. In his first year as a full-time starter, much like Aaron Rodgers in 2008, Jordan Love in 2023 is a better quarterback, but I think he may have a little bit better players and stuff like that around him than in 2008. You know, and it's a young team that they'll grow together.
Yeah.
But you're
although he hadn't had Christian Watson for a
No, I understand.
Okay,
I'm not sold on Christian Watson, by the way, either.
Yeah.
Romeo Doubs, to me, is their best receiver.
Really?
They got to figure out how to get him to football.
Is 6'4" and runs 4'2".
Yeah, but I can't vouch for him like that. But beside that, he's got a long ways to go.
He does, no doubt.
He's got a long way.
But he's come a long way.
Aaron Rodgers got a book on him right now, right? I mean, his thing is just like this. So, you know, can Jordan Love make a few playoff games? Yes. But how about this, though? You do know that there's players in the National Football League that had very, very successful careers. In Matthew Stafford in Detroit, by the way, that couldn't win a playoff game, let alone go to the playoffs multiple times. Jordan Love may never get back to the playoffs ever again.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah.
So I don't want to start putting that type of pressure on him.
All right, Richard.
Yeah, let's not be unfair, because it's really beyond unfair to. You talk about one of the greatest resumes for a quarterback in the history of the game. 4 MVPs doesn't happen very often. Peyton had 5, but it's not something normal or even close to normal. You know, and he won a Super Bowl. He went to, I think, 5 NFC championship games, maybe 6. Like half the time, Green Bay was in an NFC championship game. And that's where you gotta be careful, because when you're comparing somebody, you can only disappoint. You know, so let's appreciate that he's had an outstanding season. Whether, you know, over 4,000 yards passing, second in the touchdown passes with 32, 7-3 over his last 10. Like you said, over his last 8 games, he's 18 touchdowns to 1 interception. He's played really well. He's played efficiently. He's led his team. He's done it with the record for most touchdowns thrown to first and second year players with 31. And so give him his just due. You know, just separate Aaron from this whole equation and appreciate this kid having a really good season and leading his team to the playoffs in the 7th seed and going to have a decent shot at upsetting the Cowboys. This will be his first chance at the playoffs and at the big spotlight and big bright lights. But it's also his first year fully starting. So he was in the same situation that Aaron was in last year with, hey, this is the season on the line, last game of the season. If you win, you go to the playoffs. If you lose, you go home. He found a way to will his team to a win, which you deserve credit for. But to compare him to Aaron Rodgers is just unfair for anybody. It's unfair for a lot of people. So to to Keyshawn's point, even a quarterback as great as Stafford had one Pro Bowl on his career. As great as he's been, I mean, he's up there top 5 in total passing yards in league history. He's got a number of records. He's the youngest quarterback to do a ton of the things in terms of the yards that he's passed for, and he has one career Pro Bowl. And that's because guys like Aaron, yes, that's the truth. Go look it up. It's gonna blow your mind. He's got one Pro Bowl. Yeah, it's mind blowing. But it's from being in a time where you had to be in a division with Aaron Rodgers. You had to play at the same time as Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, guys like that, and they were going to these Pro Bowls. They were playing in these games. So just because you don't get the accolades and awards and things like that doesn't mean you're not a great quarterback. He's playing a great. Don't always compare and contrast because it's not all created equal.
Okay, but you guys both say, let's not be unfair, and I appreciate that, but let's also be fair to what Jordan Love just accomplished because he finished second in touchdown passes, 32 to Dak's 36.
Yeah, but that,
I mean, that's shockingly great to me.
That's good though, Skip. But we can't take what you just said and turn it into a career for Jordan Love up against Aaron Rodgers because it's just not fair.
But do you see trajectory? Do you see he had a better first year starting than Aaron did? All the stats across the board are a little better.
I've seen this movie before. I can't tell.
Okay.
But I've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
I've seen a guy have a good season and then not so good. We've seen this before.
Right. Okay. Is that your prediction? Is that your gut feeling about Aaron? Because I mean about Jordan.
I can tell you this. He deserves to be the long-term answer in Green Bay. Yeah. Now, where that takes them 5 years from now, I don't know. But he certainly has shown when everybody had reservation about who he was going to be when Aaron Rodgers departed, he certainly has erased that.
Okay. Let me hit you with this. Remember the Thursday night we were in Boulder, Colorado for a Friday show with Dion.
Detroit game, right?
Yep. It was Detroit at Green Bay. And for 3 quarters, Jordan Love didn't look very good. Threw a couple picks, looked a little overmatched against a very good Detroit team that was really hot at that point. In the 4th quarter, Jordan Love started to get a hold of it, and he righted himself, and I thought he had a really good 4th quarter. And we talked about the game the next day on Undisputed live from Boulder, Colorado University. And I tried to defend the kid in the 4th quarter because he always seems to come alive and be even better in the 4th quarter than he is in the first 3. And yet, on that day, if any of us, Richard wasn't there with us, but it was Michael and Keyshawn and I, if any of the 3 of us had even imagined that he would go on this run of 18 touchdown passes to 1 interception, we would all laugh because at that point, it looked ridiculous. Like there's no way that was going to happen. And now he's to the point he has gotten so much better, so much faster that I'm a little, I open this up, I'm a little queasy about him coming to Jerry World because I don't think he's going to be afraid of anybody, right?
But, well, you should be more afraid of Matt LaFleur and their experience and that the success they've had in the playoffs. They've had success, and he knows how to play with this team. He'll have a great feel for, and he'll talk to Kyle Shanahan. He'll talk to Mike McDaniel. He'll talk to Sean McVay. They'll have a great plan for what they want to do against your team, and your team does have weaknesses on defense, especially against this type of offense. So, you're right to be afraid.
All right, but here's my point. The reason I believe Dallas will win this game is because he's not Aaron Rodgers, certainly not yet, not even close, and even though Aaron Rodgers, since that long ago, far away Super Bowl, in the postseason, Aaron's 7-9 since that Super Bowl. And if we had enough show left, I would go through the 7 games and show you how fortunate he was to win the 7 that he did win.
Different teams, Skip.
Okay.
Different coaches, different teams,
I'm with
different players.
But Aaron Rodgers owned the Dallas Cowboys. He has owned us because in the regular season, he's 6-2, playoffs 2-0. Overall, 18 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. So I'm just happy it's not Aaron Rodgers. Unfortunately, the Aaron I always said was even more valuable than Aaron Rodgers was Aaron Jones, and he's still there. He's the only holdover who actually played for Mike McCarthy when he coached in Green Bay. And if you look at Aaron Jones's 3 games against Dallas because he wanted to be a Cowboy growing up in El Paso, he has murdered us. He's averaged 157 combined yards a game for 3 games. It's shocking if you look at his numbers against us. So he scares me, and Jordan's starting to scare me because I think he'll come in with nothing to lose and let it fly. Yep.
You're the epitome of a prisoner of moment. So again, this is going to be
that phrase, by the way. So I'm a prisoner of my own phrase. Yeah, thank you.
That's it. You're a prisoner of your own stuff.
Yeah.
And I was at that Thursday game against Detroit. We were in there.
You were there.
And
you were there.
We were there, and we watched it live. And he struggled. And he struggled early in the season, but it seems like the relationship between he and Matt LaFleur and their offensive coordinator has changed. They found the rhythm for this kid. They found the things that he does well. They found a way to put him in the positions he needs to be to really thrive, and that's where you should be nervous. The only thing I would say is that, like I said earlier, they got to get ahead on you guys early. If they don't get ahead on you guys early, they're not going to chase you down and beat you in the fourth quarter. But if they get ahead, Skip, bite your nails. And Ernestine might be right back doing what she do with that phone, filming another one of these videos and you throwing away a jersey.
Yeah. She's all pro with that.
Talk to me after the game, Skip, about what
I'm sure you'll text me during the game.
Well, I mean, about Jordan Love specifically after the game, because I like to see guys in their first time playing in the playoffs, how they respond will tell me a lot about who they're going to be in their careers.
All right. We got to get back to Jim Harbaugh, hottest name on the now NFL coaching market. Next year, he will coach at where? We debate next.
Stanford.
No mercy, no mercy.